like, and subscribe. If you are aware of my videos and you've been a long time subscriber, then you know I like to get straight to business. I sometimes speak extemporaneously off the top of my head, and then I end up having to make the videos over and over again to make them to correct mistakes and things of this nature. This time I decided to write it down, and I'm gonna try to give you a lot of information in a short period of time. I'm gonna say this right now. My channel is for spiritual intellectuals. My channel is for intelligent people. I don't have a fancy background. I don't try to impress you with my YouTube thumbnails, like doing things like poking my eyes out and trying to mislead you to get you to listen to what I have to say. I mean, if you are in search of truth, then you're in the right place. And so I'm gonna just get straight to it. So I'll be looking up, looking down, reading. I'm gonna try not to pause the video, because when I pause the video, then I always forget to turn the video to unpause it. So I'm gonna just try to go straight through, and just like my channel, it's probably good to listen to my videos 2 or 3 times, because you're not going to be able to digest all the information at once. And then there is my cup runneth over, which is to say I have a lot of information, and there is no way that I can put 40 years of study into 2, 3 minute, 10, 15 minute videos. So I'm gonna go jump straight into it, and let's deal with it. The name of this is going to be From Man to Immortal. Hebrew Israelites. Our I don't even want to call it a religion, because what we believed in spirituality. This is African spirituality. Can you call it a religion? I don't know. Religions, you have so many different religions that are exclusive. Spirituality encompasses all the knowledge in the world. And truth grows. You add to truth. From the wheel, we invented the tire. Then we invented the cars, planes, everything started from the wheel. So I'm not going to be able to get into every little detail like I like to get into every little detail, but that's impossible. So I'm going to just read it and then go from there. Yahweh God is eternal, meaning having no beginning or ending. This is to say that God is not a human being. That is ridiculous. We live in the mind of God. Man can become immortal through awareness, concentration, desire for truth, and mastery of the self. Understand, we are three-dimensional beings. One dimension must gain control over the other two. My mother told me that only crazy people talk to themselves. My mother was incorrect, for thinking is talking to yourself. The wisest people know how to talk to themselves. It is they who think for themselves and give themselves well thought out directions. If you don't think for yourself, which is talking to yourself, then you become a victim of people giving you false information. And as I go on, I will talk about you will have to study people. And when you study people, you study yourself. When you study people, you study yourself. And to study people means to listen to what they say and watch their actions, and ask yourself, why are they telling me this? Is this in my best interest? What is it they're trying to accomplish? All that goes into studying people. And you must do that. Spiritual philosophy of the Jews teach, and when I say Jews, I mean Jews that are by blood. Jews that are by blood are all related to Moses' brother Aaron. Now, we have three minds, and the third must speak and guide the two. In essence, you have three selves. And the first self is instinct. The second is intellect. And the third is spirit. And to become spiritual, and to hear spirit, you have to master yourself. Self-mastery. When you are able to master yourself, that's when you hear spirit. Because we are what? We are spiritual beings having a physical experience. Intellect is between instinct and spirit. In essence, we must think before we act, and decisions belong to the intellect. Instinct must act in accordance to how it has been trained to act in certain situations over lifetimes, recorded by the intellect in the memory of DNA. When Yahuwah died on the cross and said he was coming back, he was talking about what? He was talking about reincarnation. With this being said, truth is a requirement for the intellect to function. Truth is a requirement for the intellect to function as it should. The intellect must depend upon spiritual mind for guidance, and if necessary, question the spiritual mind for understanding. So what is knowledge? Knowledge is truth. Knowledge is truth, and truth adds up. And that's how people can prophesy the future. By paying attention and understanding the past, then they can figure out future events. Now, should we follow spiritual mind blindly? Probably. However, logic is the mathematics of words. Logic is the mathematics of words. And remember, truth adds up. Truth has a logical foundation. Lies do not. Lies do not add up. They subtract. Truth that is not understood cannot be added nor stored properly in memory and recalled when need be, when one needs to understand a situation. However, we don't have to know how to make a car in order to drive a car, but we must know how it operates, which is to say we don't need to know everything. With this being said, truth is a requirement for the intellect to function as it should. The intellect must depend upon spiritual mind for guidance, and when necessary, question the spiritual mind for understanding. When I say question, I mean exactly that. Ask yourself mental questions. Communicate with self. Talk to yourself to be yourself. And once you do that, you will get answers. Your spiritual self will answer you. It will answer you. But before you say it won't answer you, ask yourself, have you ever tried to communicate with your spiritual self? And see, this is why I explained to you in other videos, it is necessary for you to not eat pork, not eat shellfish, not eat fish without scales, not to partake in weird sexual practices, perverted sexual acts. All this damages your ability to take in information through the melanin in your skin, and the melanin in your skin is an antenna. The melanin in your skin is an antenna, and it picks up thought waves. But I'm not going to try to explain all that now. Now understand this: lies subtract from, and gain foundation when emotions feed selfish desires. Lies subtract from and gain foundation when emotion and gains lies subtract from and gain foundation when emotions feed selfish desires that are not of necessity. The things you don't need are the things you become a slave to, and if not cautious, will own you. These things will own you. And then television, for instance, they show you all this luxury, all this extravagance, and then you desire all these things that you don't need, and they can trap you. They can make you live outside of your means. They will make you live outside of your means, trying to purchase and pay for things on credit that you can't afford. Understand this. And these things the things that aren't of necessity are the things that will eventually own you. He or she who moderates their desire owns their world. He or she who moderates their desires owns their world, owns their emotion. Willpower is a tool of the gods. Willpower is a tool of the gods. You have to have willpower to control your what? To control your emotions. And a lot of what I'm telling you, you should know. But the funny thing is about a lot of things that we know, we need to hear somebody say to make it concrete. Now, the worst desires are based on narcissism and greed. The result is intellectual dysfunction or emotional neurosis that causes one to do things that are not in their best interest, such as becoming racist or feminist. And we see that today. The farmers, what did they do that was not in their best interest? They listened to hate. They listened to hate speech. And they didn't realize that they were getting rid of the people they needed to do the work on their farms. And then some of them even believed the lie that African Americans were somehow going to come and work on their farms, which makes no sense. Because people have to be picking fruit is a job. It's something you have to know how to do. You don't just run out there picking fruit. You don't just run out there picking vegetables. You have to know how to do that. It looks simple, but there is always a science to everything that we do. And then, so you see how racism has screwed the farmers. Feminism has screwed a lot of women to where they're saying, I don't need no man. And then some of them are so narcissistically, selfishly screwed up. They believe that they are as strong as a man. Never mind the reality that is right in front of their faces. They argue with it. One must use the intellect to study people and understand who is giving you false and negative information. Call this false information negative thought waves, for they cause negative actions. Lies do not have thought waves because they're not real. Lies do not have thought waves because they are not real. Truth has thought waves. Lies don't have thought waves because they don't build up. You can't build from lies, you can only subtract. That's why when a person lies to you, he's going to tell another lie to back up that lie until you become lost and suffer psychotic neurosis. Now understand this. Watch your thoughts before they become words. Watch your words before they become actions. Watch your actions before they become your character. Watch your character before it becomes your destiny. And this is what I'm explaining about how the destiny of racist farmers is in contradiction to what is in their best interest. The hateful speech used in feminism has put women in a position where they have no man to back them up. It puts them in a situation where they're just stuck with cats and dogs. And they didn't listen because they didn't listen intelligently to Kevin Samuels because they were caught up in what? In their narcissistic emotion. I'm so beautiful that a man will take me regardless as to my bad character, bad personality. And he will put up with me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And I can even bring kids to the relationship because I am just so everything. That's narcissism. No, you're not. Nobody is everything. And you will not hear a man say, I don't need a woman. Because men don't need women. We can cook, clean, work, and take care of ourselves. Women need a man, if nothing else, for protection and for guidance and someone to help and back you up. And all this stuff about a woman comes home from work and then she comes home and she works and blah, 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 blah. Men don't just leave work and come home and don't do anything. Women who have homes, have houses, know that you have to maintain that house and it takes work. And there is yard work. There is shoveling snow. There is taking care of cars. But see, one of the keys to telling a lie is leaving out the facts. And when you say that men don't do anything, then you are leaving out the facts. Now understand this. People who preach hate will find a reason to hate you, and any lie that feeds their emotions will do. There is no honor amongst thieves, and no love amongst those who preach hate. There is no honor among thieves. There is no love amongst those who preach hate. Trump is a perfect example again. The man was preaching what? Hate. Can you say that he loves those MAGA farmers? Can you say that he loved those people who work for DEI and took their jobs from them? That's a question that you must answer. You can answer that question emotionally, or you can answer the question intellectually. If you answer it emotionally, then you're going to subtract. If you answer it intelligently, then you can add up and see what will be your future if you think intellectually and allow the truth to add up. And all of this is important because when you're talking about becoming an immortal, first thing you have to do is conquer mortality. When you conquer your mortality, when you become in control of your mortal self, then you can aspire to your higher self, your immortal self. You cannot be given powers if you're going to handle them irresponsibly. So you got to handle your mortal self responsibly first before you can even think of becoming an immortal. Now understand this. People make more money off preaching hate and misleading you than they do off of loving you. People make more money off of preaching hate than they do off of preaching love. Why? Because love gives. Hate takes. Love gives. Hate takes. Love gives. This is why Yahuwah stated, a rich man has as much chance of entering the kingdom of heaven as a camel has of passing through the eye of a needle. This is why Yahshua stated a rich man has as much chance of getting into heaven as a camel has of passing through the eye of a needle. Because rich people, look billionaires. Common sense should tell you that you don't become a billionaire unless you are making someone else poor. You don't own thousands and thousands of acres of land unless someone doesn't own any land at all. Understand this. This government is ran by the rich, as we know. And the rich, every time you turn around, they're getting their taxes cut. And while they're getting their taxes cut, prices are going up on the produce that they are spending capital to produce. And I'm going to tell you this. The best investment in the world, you invest $100 into a politician, you can make 1,000. Invest a couple thousand into a politician, they will make legislation to give you millions. Invest millions into a politician, and you become Bill Gates and other billionaires. And this is why Yahuwah said, a rich man has as much chance of entering heaven as a camel has of passing through the eye of a needle. You see how truth adds up. Now, this is the key. If you're still here, you must train your mind to study people non-emotionally without bias. You must train your mind to study people non-emotionally without bias. Spiritually speaking, you must train your mind. And while you're training your mind, you are also developing yourself. When you train your mind, you develop yourself. When you study people, you develop yourself. Try this. Focus your awareness on something interesting. On something uninteresting. Focus your mind on something uninteresting. It could be a toothpick. It could be a glass of water, an empty cup. Study it for 10 minutes. Notice the shape. Look for imperfections. Look for how it was made. This exercise will increase your concentration and focus your willpower. It will allow you to see things in things that other people don't see. Concentrate on this pencil. And if you concentrate on it, you'll notice things about this pencil that other people don't notice, and things that you just take for granted. And see, this is the power of concentration. It will allow you to train and exercise your mind to see things that other people cannot see. You will pick up things that other people don't even notice. Do this once a day for 10 minutes, and you will see things mentally others neither see or realize. Your intellect is connecting with your spiritual mind. Your intellect is connecting with your spiritual mind. You will be able to distinguish lies from truth in seconds. This is a form of meditation where the mind becomes a vacuum. This is a form of meditation where the mind becomes a vacuum. It picks up things mentally and spiritually that other people don't see. Awareness causes you to think in thought ways without outside interference. Awareness causes you to think in thought ways without outside interference, instinctively. And you will do this instinctively because your instinct will start to follow your spiritual self, which is to think. You do this instinctively, which is to think faster and react faster than a lie can be manufactured. Study people in commercials. Study people in commercials when you're looking at TV. Study politicians, not what they say. Look deeper inside what they say to see them, who they really are. In essence, the three minds become one. You have trained the three to think in coordination with truth as the common denominator, a necessity for spiritual advancement and ascension. Truth and the recognition of truth will not allow you to act against your best interest. Truth and the recognition of truth will not allow you to act against your best interest. This is why silence is golden, and wise men seldom speak, for their minds are always in a state of awareness and attention simultaneously. When they do speak, all information has been digested, corrected, or thrown out of their mind if need be. They have studied your character as well as what you said. You have been that toothpick, that glass of water, or that empty cup that they have been studying, because they study things and they pick up frequencies automatically. When you study, you pick up frequencies automatically. They will have noticed your facial expressions and things you do you're not aware of. This concentration will help you to have a task. This concentration will help you when you have a task to do. To paraphrase Booker T. Washington, you will be able to do a common thing in an uncommon way. You will be able to do a common thing in an uncommon way. When you have that awareness, that concentration, you will see things and figure out things that other people aren't even aware exist. In closing, understand this. Necessity is the mother of creation. Necessity is the mother of creation. Creativity is the ability to create from the known to the unknown, a necessary to reinventing oneself, going from a mortal to an immortal. Necessity is the mother of creation. Creativity is the ability to create from the known to the unknown, a necessary to reinventing oneself, going from a mortal to an immortal. Creativity. What is creativity? It is inventing the unknown from the known. And the more you know about the known, the more you can create the unknown, and you see things that others don't see. And the things you see the things you see that others don't see puts you in a different state of being. It puts you in a different state of being. Although you may walk down the street with another person, that doesn't mean that you are in the same state of being, because the state of being exists within your mind. It was Descartes who said, I think, therefore I am. And a lot of people say, oh no, he was wrong. No, he was right. I think, therefore I am. I know, therefore I am. In essence, truth is divine and creates when one knows how to add truth in time. They can also predict and create future events. With this being said, the recognition of truth from lies is a prerequisite if one is to become an immortal. This is the goal of Hebrew Israelites, immortality. The goal of Hebrew Israelites was immortality. It was not to go to heaven. It was to become immortal. Heaven is a state of mind. Truth is in our DNA, and the reason we are here today. Truth is in our DNA, and the reason we are here today. We create ways to survive where others have died. Hebrew Israelites. We have survived slavery, Jim Crow laws, every ethnicity on the face of the earth have been thought to hate us, and we have survived. And the reason why we have divided is because truth is in our DNA. The reason why we are here today, because truth is in our DNA. We create ways to survive where others would have died. We create ways to survive where others would have died. Spiritual philosophy is the sacred philosophy of Hebrew Israelites, the chosen ones. Spiritual philosophy is the sacred philosophy of Hebrew Israelites, the chosen ones, contained in our blood and DNA. We will always create ways to survive. And these ways will appear to come out of thin air to others. Finally, the melanin in our skin is an antenna that attracts the wisdom of nature. When one aligns with truth, one attracts truth. When one aligns with truth, one attracts truth. What do liars attract? Emotional illusions of grandeur. Look at Trump. We all know he's a liar. And look at where the MAGA followers are. They don't know what they're doing, and they're praying to Jesus, someone who never existed. They have all this stuff they have going for them, all this stuff that they have going for them, and they're asking who to help them. You see, the strength of a people is not in their wealth. It is in their ability to survive. The strength of a people is not in their wealth. It is in their ability to survive through all conditions. If you're still here, like, subscribe, and you may have to listen to this video over and over again because I know you can't possibly understand everything that I stated listening to this video one time. God bless you. Like and subscribe so I can defeat the algorithms, because they're always trying to bury my channel because I'm not reporting the news. I'm trying to awaken us. Those who want to be awakened, I'm trying to awaken. That is my calling. When you know yourself, then you will be able to find your calling. I'm not asking you to agree with everything I say. I'm asking you to think about it. Because wisdom is not yours unless you understand it. Talk to you later. Have a great day.